Hi Taurus, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for May 1st through the 7th. Can't believe it. Let's get right into things. We're going to first talk some astrology and transits and all that stuff. I'm going to pull a general Celtic cross spread on the general transits for the astrology, and then we're going to do a separate spread for career, and first before that I'm going to do a separate spread for relationship. Okay, Taurus, so I hope you guys are doing great today. Lots of first house energy going on. Happy birthday to you guys, having your solar return. Lots of focus on that house of self, so lots going on. We're going to talk about it. Let's pull a Celtic cross spread first. Look at the, okay, these two came out. Let's see what we have here. Okay, we'll get the star reverse. Let's see. Okay, nice. Ace of Wands as the final outcome. Let's throw some astro dice and pull some cards. So, on Sunday the 2nd, I like this day for pretty much everyone. So, you're going to have Mercury and Taurus in your first house, trining Pluto and Capricorn in your 9th house. So we like trines. Trines have a very easy energy. And what is the 9th house? It's your belief system. It's negotiating. It's got to do with contracts and laws and rules. It has to do with higher education. It has to do with foreign land, foreign cultures, traveling. It has to do with, again, yeah, I mean, like your belief system. And negotiation, right? 9th house is a negotiation energy. Now, what I like about this Mercury and you, trining Pluto and Capricorn, is because you and Capricorn are such grounded earth energies, these energies coming together can make even really uncomfortable subjects more easy and natural to discuss. So if you have to have a conversation with somebody, Sunday the 2nd is really, really good. In addition, on that day, in that first house, Venus and Taurus, and then sextiling Neptune and Pisces in your 11th house. So the conversations could certainly be addressing where it is that you want to go in your life. What are your plans? What's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? What is it that you see for yourself? Because 11th house is the house of goals and gains. It has to do with friends, and it has to do with gains from any sort of entrepreneurial efforts, anything like that, yes. But it really is, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? So Sunday the 2nd is a really good energy for all of that. Now, Monday the 3rd gets a little trippy. I'm telling everybody, if you could avoid needing to engage in conversation with anyone, it would be best. But if you can't, you can't. Just because Mercury is going to be, for you guys, Mercury in Taurus, obviously in you, is going to be in your first house, is going to be squaring Jupiter and Aquarius in the 10th. So 10th house has to do with your career, your public reputation, your standing in the world. That could have to do with your marriage as well. Okay, so also issues having to do with home, because the 10th house opposes the 4th house. So what happens here, in addition to the Sun in Taurus squaring Saturn in Aquarius, again, both of these energies are happening between your first house and your 10th house. Your first house of self, your 10th house of career, public reputation, standing in the world. What can happen here is we need to be very careful how we all express ourselves, because we could be easily misunderstood. We can easily and unintentionally rub people the wrong way. They could do that to us too, though, right? Because this is just not only for you, this is for everyone. You happen to be feeling this, though. It's going to be happening between your first house and your 10th house of career, or your first house and public reputation, standing in the world, okay? So be careful on social media, guys. Be careful when you're engaging with anybody in work, anything like that, anyone that you live with. Just be careful, right? Because challenges and blocks can cause delays. Egos can be easily bruised. And I'm calling this the to hell with it day. It's the kind of energy where don't be surprised if you're saying, to hell with this job, to hell with these friends, to hell with this fill in the blank, because there's too much pressure. It's like the pressure of it just becomes like, no, sorry, I've reached maximum. I don't want to deal with anymore. You're going to feel tempted to do that. Don't. If you can, just kind of step back a little bit. If you can, step back a little bit. Luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. Yes, because you're the birthday baby. And Mercury and Gemini is going to be dipping into your 2nd house of things that you value, from money to your self-esteem to the roof over your head, anything like that. So that's going to be happening on Tuesday into Wednesday. Check out these astro days. So we have the 5th house So the fifth house is all about romance, falling in love, love affairs. It has to do with your children. It also has to do with any sort of entrepreneurial efforts. It's the house of Leo, so you might be dealing with a Leo. It's also the house of father, so something might be going on with your father. And we have Leo here is showing up as well on the day. So we have a lot of fifth house energy. And because we have it with the North Node, which is Gemini, which is the need to learn something new, learn something in a new way. I don't know, Taurus, maybe you're needing to... something whenever the North Node shows up, there's something always destiny driven, something meant to happen. So there's something meant to go on in romance. Something is meant to go on with your children, with your father. Something needs to be looked at. Something needs to be addressed here, but it could be in a really, really good way. So a lot of you might be just handling romance differently. A lot of you might just be meeting somebody where it's just sort of very serendipitous. Luck is on your side, new moon in Sagittarius. It's all about luck and expansion there because it's a Jupiter energy coming in and meeting. So if you're single, really, really good about you meeting somebody new. Very fortunate energy when it comes to something with your children. Really good energy for creating. If you need to become very creative with your work, really, really good. Now we have the Pisces working with the quincunx. So the Pisces is the 12th house energy, right? It's the energy of the mystic. It's the house of self-undoing. It's ruled by Neptune. This is where we can get in our own way with certain energies, where we really want to be careful that we're not being victimized in a situation, that no one is taking advantage of us. We really want to be very compassionate and very empathetic, but at the same time, be very mindful of exercising healthy boundaries regarding a situation, because whenever we have a quincunx, there's something very complex. And it's the kind of thing, you know, a square in astrology indicates that there's tension, there's pressure, something needs addressing. A quincunx is different. A quincunx becomes a complication. It becomes something that can't be avoided. There's something that's going on in your life right now, Taurus, that can't be avoided. You can't avoid it. There's a change that you just have to look at. There's something that needs addressing by you and only you, okay? Now we have the Wheel of Fortune coming into this Celtic cross spread here. So, and I'm going to just interpret this as a general read for everything in life, and then we'll break into relationship and then career. So this is all about fate and change and a turning point, though, a turning point. So it's someone from the past magically reappearing. Some of you might be reconnecting with old friends. Some of you may have an ex-love interest or partner come back from the past, but you need to think about that last go around if you want to get back involved with them. Do you think the connection had good enough bones, as I always say? If it did, great. If it didn't, just, you know, no, keep them in your rearview mirror. Like, just because the energy shows up does not mean you have to engage. You have to understand that, right? You don't have to do that. If this has to do with money or career, really good news is coming in, but you want to make sure that you prioritize what's being asked of you and exercise integrity while doing it, because this is a Jupiter energy, and Jupiter is always in, I always say, tight dance with karma. So it's coming into this energy. Some good stuff if it has to do with career and money. Some of you might be thinking about reconnecting with someone or something from your past. So the foundation, we have the Six of Wands. Really like this energy for sure. This is deserved success. Great energy if you've been struggling lately. This is getting acknowledgement, having becoming acknowledged at work, feelings being shared in relationship, being well received, positive communication. That's really good. That ends up really bringing you to a deeper point of connection. And I really like this for you, especially because on the 8th, I mean, I know the 8th is a day away from with the period that I'm covering here, but I just want to say that Venus is going to be in your 8th house, and in your 2nd house rather. And what is the 2nd house? It's not only money, but it's everything that matters to you. It's things that you value. So I just feel like what you really value in your life, Taurus, is going to be in a way honored, recognized in some way. But because you're going through a lot. You're in this space of overwhelm right now, quite likely. And it doesn't mean that you're completely losing your mind, but there's an overwhelm of responsibilities, of burdens. You might be really, really busy right now. And I always call this the catch-22 energy, where you just might be feeling this incredible overload of just so many things happening right now. And regarding how this can manifest in a relationship is you might end up neglecting your relationship because of all of these other things going on, and that could end up creating a lot of issues. You want to be careful of that. For others of you, this may be, all right, you know what, I can't do this thing anymore. I just can't. It's time that I want to go after something that where I can exercise my talents, gifts, and abilities, and if it has to do with career or money, and I really just want to go for that. But you not playing anywhere, like you want something deep, real, and meaningful. Now we have as the crowning energy, we have the star reverse. And in the reverse, this does indicate giving up too easily in a project, or maybe even experiencing a creative block. You might be too attached to a fantasy of something while overlooking the details of a situation, or you may feel pulled into a false sense of security in something that has no real foundation and little chance of long-term success. So you want to just be careful of that. An additional meaning here is feeling all right now, right? You're feeling all right for now without the support that you need, though. So you're recognizing that you're not getting the support that you need in a particular area of your life, whether it's relationship or having to do with career or something like that. So just something to be mindful of. Now we do have the Three of Pentacles, which indicates collaboration, success. I always call this the Architect card. You're coming in like drawing the blueprints for your life, right? This is you doing rewarding work, allowing your talents to shine. This could indicate a successful launch of something for those of you looking to launch either a website, start a channel, launch some sort of retail situation, some sort of product. Some of you might be doing home improvements, or really good energy to sell your house also. Really good though. Just be careful. Other people might be a little jealous of a lot of positive experiences coming your way right now. Just let the detractors make you stronger and don't even stress about it. Just ignore. Ignore, rise above. Rise above. We have the Queen of Pentacles as you right now. Yeah. Nice. So because this is a court card, I'm going to explain it as you or an influence. So you're in this space where you're really taking care of yourself. You're taking care of your body, your mind, your soul, your finances. You're taking care of you. Now, if this is a general energetic influence that you're experiencing, you're either getting married or thinking about getting married, or those of you who are coupled, money coming to those of you who are coupled. This could be for anyone, just good financial management as well. This could indicate a really good sex life, doesn't have to. This could indicate fertility, doesn't have to, right? This idea of pregnancy, of being able to grow. Really nice, Taurus, very nice energy. And it doesn't have to manifest as all of those ways. I give all of those things because this is a general reading and I don't know who I'm speaking to, right? This is for Taurus, the archetype. I don't know what else is in your chart. So we have the King of Cups as an external energy that's influencing you here. And this is a nice energy. Now, if this is a person, this is somebody who's very sociable, very charismatic and sensitive, really not warm, very warm person, not afraid of intimacy, really nice. If this is showing up as an influence for you that's sort of surrounding you, this indicates that a need exists to settle a conflict, either within yourself or with someone else. And you might feel really unclear how to handle it. And the answer to that is go with your heart, follow your heart. Sometimes that's not the answer, but it does seem like this is the answer. We have the Seven of Pentacles in your challenge position. So the Seven of Pentacles in the challenge, again, this isn't like giving up too soon or not putting in a lot of work or the hard work being a challenge for you. It's not that you're not willing to work. It's not. But it's what may be required you don't have the patience for. I think that's a better way of putting it. But whatever the situation is, really the energy doesn't want you to give up. You're almost there, but you're having a hard time hanging on to something. You really are. And we have the Five of Swords in the near future. So there's a clash between what it is that you really want and what it is that you actually have right now. And that's creating this tension and this ongoing conflict that you'll probably not win. So at least for the moment, it's better to just walk away. This is kind of like the Monday the 3rd energy. I'm feeling like better to walk away and deal with anger and disappointment, because this is the thing with the 5 of Swords. You're dealing with somebody else, and the main issue here is coming from them. And not that it's not about pointing fingers, but there's a situation where they're the ones who are primarily stuck, and they're dealing with something, and you can't mitigate anybody else's stuff but your own, right? You can't fix the unfixable. Other people are unfixable to us. They can only work on themselves, right? Which can be so frustrating when we can see how making certain adjustments in a thought process or behavior could really benefit a person, but only, individuals can realize this, right? Ultimately make the decision. You could offer suggestions, but it doesn't mean they have to listen, right? But then in the final outcome, we have the Ace of Wands. It's a good energy, very auspicious for any area of life, new beginnings, new enterprise, creative projects, conception of ideas. Great energy for family, for virility. If those of you who are looking to start a family, new chapter of passion, creativity, motivation, really, really nice. Really nice energy here. So in one area of your life, this is what I see going on. So let's get a little more specific. Let's see what's happening in the area of relationship. Okay, so we'll clean these up. These are weed. Okay. Let's see for relationship for our Taurus friends, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. You do want to make sure you check your, at least for the astrology part, definitely check your rising first, then your sun, if you know your rising sign. If you don't know your chart, just as if you know the time you're born, you could go online, go to a free birth chart calculator. I use I'm a Western astrologer, and I use whole house astrology. I'm trained in Vedic, and I love it for certain things, relocation, medical, lots of things like that. But when it comes to predictive, I like to do progressions using whole house. So that's where I'm at with my stuff. So you guys know. I do get that question a lot. Because a lot of people get confused. They're like, wait a minute, I'm born in June, but it's saying that I'm a Taurus. Vedic always goes one sign back in whatever your placement is. It's like Vedic astrologers are saying that the full moon was in Libra, and we're saying it was in Scorpio, right? So, just to give you an idea. All right. So let's see with relationship. We have the Chariot here. Okay. We see good vibes coming here. I like this, Taurus. This is good. With the Chariot energy, you always want to look at the cards surrounding. So the Chariot is about swift progress, change, moving away from toxicity towards a healthier place, more like your metaphorical home space, right? But something is expedited here. So you're moving away from something that was negative, and you're going towards something positive, and it's ultimately going to be really good for you. So, hey, that's really good. We have the Knight of Pentacles, and it's being crossed by the Six of Cups. So the Knight of Pentacles is, if this is a person, I have to say it's because it's a court card. So let's understand it as a person. If this is a person, this is somebody who's very loyal and dependable, right? And they have a lot to offer, but they might be a little boring. They might lack some zest, maybe, that you're looking for. Maybe they're slow to share their feelings. They're not very communicative. They're not very affectionate. But depending on what it is that you're looking for, they could be your rock. So they may lack the excitement to capture your heart for the long term, but, in a really satisfying way. But it depends on where you're at, because this energy could ultimately be really, really good for you. You just have to be very honest with yourself, right? The general influence of this, though, is about increasing success in something, right? Where you're working really hard in a relationship, but and you have to, in order for it to be stable and secure, but you're going to have the wherewithal to do that, right? And this is just an increase in feeling very connected to someone in relationship. But you have to put the work in. Now we have this idea of the Six of Cups. So for some of you, you may be reconciling with somebody from the past. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Some of you may be just in a very long-term relationship and you're feeling very nostalgic about an earlier time in your relationship, and you'd really like to recapture that in your relationship. Some of you might be reconnecting with an old friend that suddenly you see in a different way, right? But if you're reconnecting with somebody from the past, or if you're trying to recapture an earlier time in your relationship that you were really happy about within, if there was any sort of mistreatment, bad behavior, disrespect, anything like that, things can be remedied here. If you suffered some sort of poor treatment, or maybe you did that to someone else and it being remedied here, being remedied. So that's how it's going to be for, that's the different ways that this could manifest. Now we have the Justice energy, which is, a relationship card, really it's a marriage card. As this is Justice is Libra. Libra is the landlord of the 7th house of marriage and partnerships. And Libra is ruled by Venus. So when it comes to relationships, balance and fairness are important to look at right now, because Venus really wants you to feel good about being in something, that's loving and that's equitable. And you have to make sure that your needs are being met, or your emotional needs being met. And then going back to the Knight of Pentacles, like somebody may be, maybe not as zesty and as exciting, but if they're meeting your emotional needs, then, that's awesome. Don't sneeze at that. But if they're not, this needs to be looked at here. And there might need to be a conversation. With the Temperance is really about this level of negotiation. Remember, Temperance is as Sagittarius, which is that 9th house of negotiating something, right? And through that, a new level of trust and patient cooperation can be had in a relationship after maybe what's been a pretty difficult time period. Now, for those of you, if you happen to be single, you might find yourself very energetically or spiritually pulled towards a new partner. This is a very, very emotionally intense time for you, though. Because Temperance, Sagittarius is fire. So there's going to be, you want to be careful, though, Taurus. Like some of you may be very bored in a relationship, and I hate to even say this, but bored in a relationship where you might be energetically drawn towards somebody else. We have the Knight of Cups here as you. So as you're very open to real love, really, and, the advice here is don't judge by somebody's appearance. Don't judge by, first impressions. And none of that, right? Real love kind of looks past that. Now, this can indicate some sort of proposal. You proposing something to somebody. You coming up with a really great idea. Very emotional time, though, within an existing relationship for many of you. For others of you, you might find yourself very wrapped up in a new energy. Okay? Now, if you happen to be meeting somebody brand new, I always say be a little careful with this energy, because there's somebody that could seem really perfect and they're saying that they want a partner, I want this and that, right? But they might be stuck behind this false persona and they're really not sure how to climb out from behind that to be who they really are. So if you happen to be dealing with an energy that seems too perfect, take your time. If it seems too good to be true, just make sure their walk matches their talk. That's all I'm saying. Now, we have the Six of Swords as the energy external to you that's influencing you. And this is about departure, moving on, leaving a situation, allowing some space to do some internal work. It's this need to detach. If somebody's either detached from you, or you detach from somebody, or you may just simply be feeling emotionally detached right now. Now, I do also want to say, wait a minute now, Six of Swords, because I'm getting this. This could also mean literal travel. So, Taurus, you might be, if you're going away, you might be meeting somebody on vacation. Be careful, make sure you have your bullshit meter turned way up. Just saying. That's not to say that they may be fabulous, because the Knight of Cups certainly can be, but there is always this idea of presenting a false persona, which is kind of normal, I guess, early on in something. But if they can't drop it, then that's a different story. Or if you're traveling, you want to make sure that you're very authentic and you're standing in your integrity. Now, for others of you, what you're proposing might be a vacation to your partner, right? Some of you may be saying, look, let's get away from all of this. Let's go on a, an FU COVID vacation kind of thing. I don't know. But these are the different ways that this can manifest. Now, in your block and your challenge is the Six of Pentacles. So, yeah, Taurus, I feel like there's something going on here where you might not feel completely connected, okay, for some of you, to a particular connection that you're involved in, an energy that you that you're in. Now, there might be other things going on in the relationship. There could be problems with property, family issues. This could also indicate an inheritance issue, not feeling very supported though. Maybe you've been struggling financially. These are things, this is how the Six of Pentacles can show up as a block. So there might be issues regarding any of those areas. Well, we have the Three of Swords in the near future, which is the card of pain, right? This is heartbreak. This is betrayal, pain of a truth, the realization. This could be just being in a lot of pain over something. So this could be, the loss of a loved one, the loss of a relationship. You just might be feeling kind of bummed out. But all you could really do is face reality. And what I do like about the Three of Swords is whatever is happening here, the lights come on. So there's no more confusion. And you're able to really move on from the pain of something to do some real healing. As I say with the Three of Swords, totally seemingly unrelated, but not really, is in the near future, this can indicate some sort of heart issue that might need attention to safeguard, whether it's a circulatory issue, blood pressure, angina, AFib, anything like that. That's come up for a couple of signs right now. So I would just say, just a little heads up to some of you. But I feel like for most of you, you're going to be understanding this as some sort of sadness. We have the King of Swords here, and the King of Swords is focusing on the mind instead of the heart, and really just taking charge of your circumstances in your relationship. Just being very practical and very pragmatic, and doing what needs to be done in a situation. Let's pull some energies here. We have the Knight of Wands, okay. Three of Pentacles. And Seven of Wands. So the Knight of Wands energy is really about your ambition being very fired up, right? Events speeding up, blocks being lifted, decisions being made, And we have this working with the Three of Pentacles, which is about collaborating with somebody. Success, putting a lot of work into something and having it work out. But yet you may be in this space right now where there's some sort of obstacle that you're needing to navigate. You're going to be able to overcome it. It's not the end of the world, but your morality and your personal philosophy is going to be very important to you right now. So like the way you see something is really going to be sort of front and center. And you may need to look at something a little differently. And I'm only saying that because of that Jupiter and Aquarius quintiling Uranus in you. So yeah, we have the Fool. So fresh path, new perspective. So some of you may be meeting somebody brand new. Others of you are just going to relate in a completely different way. Page of Cups, new cycle having to do with the heart space. So I feel like there's some sort of change going on in relationship. Taurus, either you're meeting somebody new or you and a partner are really starting this new cycle. A lot of you are going to be dealing with somebody from your past, though, if you're not trying to tap into an earlier part of your relationship. So however that can manifest, this is a general reading, but that's what I have. Let's see. Now, let me pull a couple of these. Wild. Oh, yes, I like this. Whatever. Listen, step out of your comfort zone. Step out of your comfort zone. Discover your life purpose. What is relationship supposed to even mean in your life? You need to have a good time, Taurus. You need to have some fun. You've been working. You've been in. You need to have a good time. This is doing something out of the ordinary, out of the box. Really reconnect. What do you really want in relationship? Do you want someone who plays the violin for you? What is your purpose in being in relationship? That sounds like a simple question, but think about that. truly, why does your heart want to be in a relationship? Is it for companionship? Is it for security? Is it so you can have a family, so you can have kids? Is it all of the above? You know what I mean? And that answer is going to be very different depending on your age and stage of life. Because, you know, if you're old and you've been married once, twice, whatever, you're just like, I just want a companion, you know. Others of you are like, no, I'm all about still being married. I don't care how old I am. Others of you are like, oh, I want to have kids and I want to be with a partner. So it depends on where you're at. But you have to really get in touch with that and do something out of the ordinary. Have fun. I feel like I'm sensing some boredom in the relationship area. So either you're not meeting anybody or you're just doing the same old, and it's like you're bored. So spice it up a little bit. It does seem like, even if you just do something for a day, you know, just something different, that could go a long way. Let's see what's going on for your career or money. So this could have to do with the job that you do, any sort of lawsuit you might have going on regarding anything from business to a divorce to an inheritance, whatever. This could also have to do with investments, buying a home, selling a home, the stock market as well. Anything like that. Okay, good conversation. All right. Okay. We have good conversation. Let's clarify. Okay. 7 of Cups. Wow. Well, it looks like there's change in the area of finances. So coming into this, you're confused. 7 of Cups is choices and confusion, commitment issues. But it's not because you can't commit to something. It's like you're not sure what's real, what's not. Things feel up in the air. But you feeling like you're in the beginning stages of the next leg of your journey, right, in life. I know a lot of you are feeling this. I've been doing a lot of Taurus readings. A lot of stuff's been going on in the area of career, right? For you guys, it's been going on for this whole past year. Lots of stuff in that area. So 2 of Cups is actually beautiful energy when it comes to career or money. This is really good, supportive, mutually respectful communication, a positive proposal coming in. If things have been a little trippy or difficult, harmony returning. But again, going back to the idea of a conversation, and then we have death and rebirth. So you're having a conversation like something's got to give, something's got to change in this situation. We have to have a different strategy to this legal situation. Things have to change in this workplace, whatever it is. This could also have to do with maybe you and a partner deciding to part ways. And you know, with that always comes some sort of consideration for splitting the finances as well. It could be that. This could also indicate choices and confusion, the death and rebirth to occur. This could also have to do with obviously an inheritance, right? Because it's about cycles, and this is a Scorpio energy, and inheritance is a Scorpio energy. So could be that. Now we have the Tower. So yeah, something's done, and something needs to be wrapped up. So definitely for dealing with the past, I'm getting so Taurus, many of you may be dealing with an inheritance or selling a family business, selling a family home, selling something like that, or dealing with something from the past in that way. The Tower, though, can also indicate just a complete change of circumstances, right? Restructuring your business, or a complete change in circumstances of what it is that you're doing. This could be a person in power needs to make a tough decision. Either you get let go or they get let go, but there ends up being this restructuring from the way things have been up to this point. But it can be just, it's something reaches its expiration date, right? So this can be the culmination of something where a lawsuit is finalized, where that divorce is finalized, that, you know, whatever that situation is, it's done now. The way that everybody's been, you know, relating to each other because of this situation has reached its point and it's done. Okay, for a lot of you it can be that, but it can also just be that there are a lot of changes afoot when it comes to an area regarding money in your life. So we have this working with the Judgment energy as the foundation. So this is acknowledgement for success coming in. This is finances improving. So, you know, particularly if the Tower is like, okay, we're settling this lawsuit, here comes the money kind of thing. That's, you know, very directly what that is. Now we have the Ace of Swords as you right now. Really good energy for new beginnings. You're going to be thinking very clearly. There's an immediate change to your circumstances for the better. You're going to be very mentally agile, be very assertive. Assertiveness is going to bring you success. Don't be too zealous. Don't be aggressive though. If anything's been challenging for you to deal with, people, any sort of obstacles, it just looks like you're going to be getting past it. So we have the Wheel energy here as the external energy that's influencing you. And this is good news coming in. You want to make sure you prioritize what you need to do. You know, dot your I's, cross your T's, do whatever you have to do. Because whatever's going on here, very, very faded. Very faded. This came up for, I think, 1 or 2 other signs too. So I'm just curious if you when you check your other signs, if you got this too. Different position and everything, maybe even a different deck, but this idea. Now your challenge is the Ten of Swords. So this is in your block position. So the Ten of Swords is a complete and painful ending. It's you're having a hard time releasing something once and for all. Even though the release of it is also releasing you from a lot of pain in the ass energy, frustration, stress, pain, the end of a challenging era. You know, energetically, life wants you to transform into a healthier space, right? With fresh eyes and a new mindset, but you might be having a hard time letting go of something. Letting go of the way something was, letting go of something. So obviously, if you're resonating with this as a divorce, you might be having a hard time cutting that last cord. You know, obviously, if it has to do with an inheritance, you know, really coming to full terms with that. If it has to do with the ending of a business, whatever it is. But you're going to be feeling this very internally, okay? But we do have the Six of Pentacles here in the near future, which is great because this is about property, family, inheritance, generosity, support. You know, if you've been struggling financially, things getting better, money coming to you, someone from your past offering you support, or you offering it to them. You might even be offering it to them. There's a sense of reciprocity, you know, with the Six of Pentacles, like I have your back, you have mine, that kind of thing, which is really nice. So we have the Leo energy as the final card here, Strength. So the Strength energy, when it comes to career or money, there might be some sort of tensions at play here, either at work or regarding some sort of situation because of ego. But what you really need to do here in the biggest way, Taurus, to not have this be a thing, is to exercise immense empathy. Because I feel like you're going to be dealing with somebody who has a big old ego. And they might have a very strong opinions, and they might need a lot of help calming down their ego so that their mind can open up. And that's what I'm seeing go on here. So that's what I have for you this week. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Have an awesome week, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.